Peace and blessings. This is Brother Malik Heru El-Shabbazz. Today I want to talk about the concept of nothingness, absence of something. The other day I posted on Facebook a question. I asked, what is nothing? Nothingness. We know what something is, but for the most part, we know what something is. But what exactly is nothing? Is nothing actually a form of something? The people on my profile, on my Facebook profile, Malik Heru El-Shabbazz, are very vocal, and I enjoy the dialogue that we have because the people are, and I'm not just doing something, they are very intelligent people, and they, the ones that respond, are very active in this small conscious community that we have on social media. So I really appreciate the responses. Even some of them are just way out there, but I appreciate them nonetheless. Now, no answer is wrong. It's just a question that's asking for an opinion. Sister Krista, she said the only way I can describe this is through music. Like people can hear the space between the tempo, which is actually a rhythm in itself. And Terry Sanders said, before the beginning, there was nothing. Our ancestors called this nothing, the known or none. And Vernon Bracey, the first family, in better word, is called darkness and light. And this has been put into every family polarity ever, like Madonna and Child, Asur and Seth, Cain and Abel, etc. This shit has always been about family. Great question. Denise Hunter says a revolving cycle of craziness where or you end up in the same predicament. And Brother Ben Black says he's Shabazz. Have you ever seen an empty bank account? There's nothing in it. Zero. So that was funny to me. But it was real. It wasn't that it was, so far out there. That's nothing. And Rob Watts said primordial. So anyway, I appreciate the responses. Now, the nothing that I was talking about was based in quantum physics, and it was based in scientific question. And so I was going through some studies and on quantum mechanics and quantum theories, and the scientists was trying to demonstrate that nothing, the concept of nothing exists in a vacuum. Well, that's the first theory, that nothingness can only exist in a vacuum. The one scientist ago said nature abhors a vacuum or whatever. And so if you take something out of space, then nature is going to fill that space up with something. So it's hard to really find nothingness in the presence of something. So you go to a vacuum and then you remove the material, you take a space, and then you take everything out of that space, an enclosed space, and you take everything out of it, and then there's nothing in it. It's that nothingness. So now I'm watching this demonstration, and as I'm watching the demonstration, I'm thinking, well, if you take all the air out and all the particles out, yeah, it's just something in the box. And so I didn't quite put my finger on it, but I just continued to watch. And I was taking notes from somewhere else, and they ended up getting to the point where I was thinking, but I didn't have the words for it. So anyway, in the box, you could, because you can see inside the box, that means that light was traveling through the box. So if light was traveling through the box, light was in the box. Therefore, something is still in the box. Okay. So there is no such thing as nothing. There's always something. In fact, nothing is something. And so as the study went on, they went down to the quantum level of what light is. And light is a photons. And at the quantum level, it's photons. And basically, photons are matter and antimatter coming in and going out from each other, hitting each other, colliding, exploding, and one is going away and the other one remains. One comes in, the other one comes, boom, boom, boom. And it's just a constant cycle of these two things colliding with each other. So at a quantum level, light is always present. Wherever there is anything, there is light. Even if the light spectrum is not visible light, there's always light. So the question is, what is nothing? We know what something is for the most part, but what exactly is nothing? Is nothing actually a form of something? And my answer is yes, nothing is a form of something. But that still doesn't answer what nothing is. What is nothing? Nothing is the building blocks, the unseen building blocks that form at the speed of light. And it forms in the unseen spectrum until it becomes seen. So, in a sense, this physical body that I use to express my existence is really nothing. But at the speed of light, my matter and antimatter is colliding so fast, so constant, that you see something. You see this. But on a quantum level, I don't exist. I'm nothing. I'm nowhere. I'm nowhere. I am nothing. I am potential. I am energy being expressed. That is nothingness. That's nothing. So I go on, and so I was going on with this thought of nothingness, and this one was kind of straight a little bit, but I still was in this same thread, and I said, nothing is instant. Even if it appears to be, it isn't. Let me rephrase that, because the way I read it was saying something else. Nothing is instant. No thing is instant. Even if it appears to be, it isn't. It happened like that because it was always in it to happen like that. Thus, your gradual change will happen because it's already in you. It's in you already. So, whoever I am to become, that quality that I am to become is already in me. It already exists in me. I might not see it. You might not see it. It might not be present. It might not be on the surface, but it's there. And one day, I become that thing. And it can surprise me. It can surprise others. And they go, what? Where did that come from? It was already in me. It was already in you. Nothing is instant. So I was having that thought, right? Which led me to this thought. Because I wasn't really satisfied with my own answer to what nothing is. And that's the thing about when it comes to, so when I'm talking, a lot of times I'm talking hypothetical, I'm talking theoretical, because I'm always in a constant mode of contemplation. I've always been that way. I've always wondered the makeup of things. I don't see this body and go and accept that as just the totality of what I'm seeing. There's more things involved with this body, and I want to know what that is. I want to know what drives that. So, in my quest of understanding, naturally, I would be led to religion. And growing up, I misinterpreted my interest in the smaller things or the inner workings of things as trying to understand God. And I grew up developing this misconception but I was always coming back lacking. I was always like, I get this, but there's nothing in there. There's no substance to what I was learning, whether it was in Christianity, Islam, Voodoo, Santeria, Wicca, whatever it was I was learning. It didn't have, it came back lacking to me because it was mainly personifications of things. It was things personified. It was things in metaphors and symbolisms. And when you want to hide a thing from those who don't deserve to have it, you hide it in plain sight. And you put it in a symbol or a sign, and it is so attractive, it becomes so attractive that the uninitiated will see it and think that that is the totality of everything. They think that they have what they was looking for, but they don't have what they was looking for. They have a symbol of what they was looking for. So that's where I am. And so the question, when you are, what I've learned about being an observer and a contemplator is when you constantly contemplate the inner workings of things and how things work and why things are the way they are, these random thoughts come into your head that just from last year, a thought that happened last year, and all of a sudden you have experienced enough experiences that the question answers itself. So I wrote, mathematically speaking, what is God and Satan? Why is one seemingly present and the other not? God is matter, Satan is antimatter, or vice versa. I can't say that God is matter and Satan is antimatter, or God is antimatter and Satan is matter. It is impossible, though, for both to exist together. Were the ancients explaining quantum physics? So the reason why I abandoned religion is because it was lacking. But more than that, the reason why I abandoned religion is because there cannot be a benevolent God who will create his own enemy, to me, and then create people to worship it or him or her, only to allow them to suffer by the enemy that he created. That just don't make sense to me. If what I just said made sense, it don't make sense to me that God would create the devil and allow the devil to bring harm to those people who are created to worship God. But that's, it does not compute. It's illogical. It's irrational. It's not based on anything of real substance. So we take slavery, the slave era, the chattel slave, and all types of atrocities. The act of slavery itself, the act of going to get these people from their land and uprooting them and bringing them across the Middle Passage into this diaspora that we call America, and the Caribbean, and Haiti, and Cuba, and South America, and Mexico, and Australia, and turn these people, these free people, original people of the earth, and make them work. Whenever I talk about slavery, it generates fire and rage that these people would do that to another people. Where was God when all of this was happening? And people who say God wanted that to happen, get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Get the fuck out of here with that. No God that, as we understand the concept of God, can be my God and allow my people or any people to go through that kind of suffering. For what fucking purpose? To what end? To get some pie in the sky? Get the fuck out of here. No, sir. We don't accept that. So, we understand the concept of God being benevolent. We understand the concept of Satan being malevolent. Slavery, chattel slavery, is a concept of malevolency against other people. A malevolent people causing harm to another people. This is the concept of what Satan is. And so in that concept, in that environment, there was no God. Because malevolency cannot exist in the presence of God. So my question again, mathematically speaking, what is God and Satan? And mathematically speaking, God is either matter or antimatter, and Satan is either matter or antimatter, and these two are going together in and out of nothingness, existing one at a time. And one is peace and one is conflict. And one is yin or yang. And they are going in and out of phase against each other or colliding. And the energy that comes from that is expressed in what we see everywhere. So that constant colliding, where we can't see it, builds up until we can see it expressed on a physical form or physical plane. Nothingness is the activity of the unseen potential occurring at the speed of light until it becomes perceptible in visible light. That's what I think nothing is. Peace and blessings.